All right, so today I was washing the house and running my gun. I would lose some volume. You know, my stream would go down, and then I would just it would pick back up and take off. So I suspected I had a air leak somewhere, and I've mentioned this before, but I've never showed it. It's really hard, you know, when the system's working correctly. This is under a vacuum. Your manifold, a lot of your lines, especially on the downside, the lower side of your pump, is running on a vacuum. So it's very hard to find a vacuum leak on a system like this. Now, if it was a car engine and you have a vacuum leak, you could just, while the engine's idling, you could just spray around the fittings or hoses or whatever, intake manifold, with starter fluid, ether, and when you could hear your idle rise, then you know where your leak was. But you can't do that here on this. So the easiest way of doing this is to pressurize the system. And this is soapy water, and I have a my compressor to, I think it's 110 pounds. I've got it set to. I do have a 1/4 by 3/8 adapter, so I could just hook that in, but I can't find it, of course, for my video, so I'm going to do it this way. And so before I start, since I have to hold this, I'm going to soap my fittings down first, and this will check your system all the way to your check valves. So I've got soapy water here, and I'm going to soap everything down just like that. So we'll check to the top of your check valves. Probably should have made it a little thicker. Here, here, everywhere there's some place for it to leak. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to pressurize, and we're going to look for bubbles. Okay, right there I got one. That's even bigger than bubbles. That's running out. All right, let's try that again. Okay, there's a leak there. Let's see if I can find any more. It's better, and I don't even have enough. I don't have a 3/8 by 1/4 inch bushing to make another fitting, but I do have a fitting. So if you can make a fitting to go from here to here, you're better off. That way you can shoot your soap around while you have it under pressure. Okay, so I have right there's my main leak, right here. All right, so I'm going to try to tighten that first. It's tight, so that means I got a seal bad here. Or something's wrong here. Something's at an angle there too. Let me get another pair of pliers so I can hold that. Something's wrong here because I need a backup set of pliers. That should have came out easily. All right. So what I did was here, when my O-ring started leaking, like a year ago, the O-ring in here, the face of this manifold kind of cupped in where the O-ring sat, so I bought these I think they're 1.25 inch flat seals, so I'm going to replace that, and hopefully we can seal that up. Alright, so what I figured out was my nut failed me, which some of you older guys, you know, understand exactly what I'm talking about. So when your nut fails, you're dead in the water. Anyway, so it's not pulling up correctly on this shoulder. There's a shoulder right here. For some reason, it's just not pulling up even. It's always, you know, cockeyed. Maybe you can see that. So whenever you buy your manifold or build one like this is from Action Machining. Every time you buy a fitting, buy a 3, you know. So here I'm going to be able to change this whole thing out. I do have enough room to cut this, to get some fresh pipe here. So let's see, right there. So we'll just toss this. And where's my clamps? What'd I do with my clamps? Oh, right here. So I got my clamps on. Got my heat gun set to 740 degrees. So you want to be careful. You don't want to be on this too much. And if you heat this up so hot, I mean, we're going to heat it up where it's noodly, but if you go past that and you put it on a fitting, and then especially if you don't wait for it all to cool down, when you clamp this down, you'll crush this nipple right here. So, and again, you older guys know about, you know, if you crush a nipple, not good. So let's heat her up. I put it hot because I'm impatient. I don't like to wait. Then I shoot it down the pipe a little bit, and you can give it a second for the heat soak to work, and you can see everything's good. You don't have to be in a hurry with these. So I'm going to give this the saliva lube, and we're going to push it on. Okay, not quite. All right, there she is. Now, this is still pretty hot. Let that cool off before you put your clamps on. Okay, we're all back together. The nut is perfect. That's what we want to hear. Get that all up there. Let's give her some compressed air. Nothing. So that's a good repair right there, and that's the easiest way to find leaks on your rig. Compressed air. If it's on your pressure washer, compressed air. So I want to show you something I did yesterday. I was on a job and they didn't have any water, and so I filled my 330 gallon all the way to the top with a garden hose. You know, it'll only fill about here because I got Hudson fill valves on. So I put a garden hose, I filled it all the way up. Well, they had a bunch of plants I had to water in the beginning, so I was watering for probably 10 minutes straight. It wasn't a huge house, but I had a lot of watering. And here's my vent. It's only a 1/2 inch, and really right here at this fitting, probably down to, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch, maybe not even that. And I've known for a long time that's too small, because when I run the tank up high and I'm running the AR or the pressure washer, they pull up the same gallons per minute. I'll get some a vacuum lock cavitation kind of thing going on, so I have to be cognizant of that. So I knew I had to. I knew 2 years ago I should put a larger vent in my tank, and so I thought the other day, or yesterday, I thought, okay, now today's the day I'm going to drill this out, put a bigger bulkhead in, put a proper vent in. And then I got lazy, and my laziness kicked in, and I thought, well, I've got this big strainer right here coming out of the bottom of the tote that strains everything. I think that's an 80 mesh, and so I could give 3 craps about what gets in the tank. And so here's my solution right here. I just drilled a bunch of holes in that cap. I'll leave this on here, but I think if I'd done that to begin with, I would have been done. Trying to make it, this is make it simple stupid right here. And so I was lazy, didn't want to look and try to find. I got bulkheads, didn't want to try to find one and whatever, so I just drilled some holes in there. So, you know, as you go along, sometimes you want things perfect, and as you realize, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you go back to some of my original videos, I had made a downstream injector mixer, a little manifold here out of 1/4-inch valves and whatever, and in the end it really didn't matter. I took all that off, and then I went with this pump, and I haven't downstream for 2.5 years now. I have been thinking about getting a remote downstream bypass, just in case this goes down, because now I don't have a spare for this. You know, I've got the thoughts about the AR-50 or AR-30. I will tell you though that this gearbox has quietened down quite a bit, probably by half, so the gears are wearing in. What's that mean? It means there's more metal shavings at the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the gear grease probably at about, well, probably soon. I don't know how many hours is on it, but probably soon. Drain that out, and then in the plug itself, which is the same as this, put a magnet in the bottom of it, because they should have a magnet anyway. But AR, I guess, decides it doesn't need a magnet. You know, there's no, if you don't have a filter, then you need a magnet. Anyway, so the gearbox is more quiet. Actually, this leak over here has self-sealed itself up. Don't ask me how. I'm not questioning it. It just happened. So I'm just running it. So anyway, there's a little video of my setup, my issues, how I resolved them, and how to check for leaks. So please like and subscribe and share my videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.